Disclaimer: this podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice, and I am not a doctor. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before beginning or changing any treatment, supplement, or peptide regimen. The information shared here is based on research, available data, and curiosity about peptides and their potential roles in human health. Today we are diving deep into Thymagen peptides. This peptide belongs to the family of thymic peptides, which are short chains of amino acids derived from the thymus gland. The thymus is one of the most important glands in the immune system, playing a critical role in the development of T cells, which are central to adaptive immunity. When we talk about thymic peptides like Thymagen, we are really talking about molecules that act as signals to regulate, restore, or optimize immune function. Thymagen is described in scientific literature as a peptide bioregulator. Bioregulators are a category of peptides that are thought to help bring balance to different body systems. Instead of forcing the body in one direction, they act more like a subtle messenger, helping restore natural regulation. With Thymagen, the primary target is the immune system. It is believed to influence the expression of genes related to immune function, potentially supporting healthier responses to infection, inflammation, and even age-related decline. One of the reasons Thymagen stands out is that it has been studied in the context of aging and immunosenescence. As people get older, the thymus gland shrinks, T cell production declines, and the immune system becomes less responsive. This decline increases susceptibility to infections, cancer, and autoimmune conditions. Thymagen has been researched as a way to stimulate or normalize immune activity in older populations, aiming to restore some of the lost balance. Now, let's explore how this works. The peptide is thought to interact with gene regulation pathways, specifically influencing the expression of genes responsible for immune signaling proteins and cellular defense mechanisms. Some early clinical data suggest that Thymagen might help increase the proportion of functional T cells, improve resistance to infections, and reduce chronic inflammation markers. That makes it a fascinating peptide to examine in the field of healthy aging and longevity. Another area of interest with Thymagen is autoimmune disease. Autoimmune conditions arise when the immune system mistakenly attacks healthy tissues. Because Thymagen appears to help normalize immune activity, researchers have looked into its potential role in calming an overactive immune response. The idea is not to completely suppress immunity, but to bring it back into balance. In some small studies, thymic peptides have shown promise in conditions like multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, and systemic lupus. More data is needed, but the concept is compelling. Thymagen has also been tested as an adjuvant therapy alongside traditional treatments. For example, in cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy, immune suppression is a big concern. Some researchers have examined whether thymic peptides can help maintain immune competence during treatment, supporting recovery and reducing the risk of secondary infections. While this is not mainstream use, the preliminary results show potential benefits that warrant more exploration. From a practical perspective, Thymagen is typically administered in cycles, sometimes as short courses lasting several days to weeks. It is usually given by injection, though dosing protocols vary widely depending on the study or clinical context. Like many peptides, its use outside of approved clinical trials is considered experimental. In some countries, thymic peptides have been formally studied and even used in medicine, while in others, they remain in the research compound category. When we think about side effects, Thymagen has generally been considered safe in the studies conducted so far, with few reported adverse effects. Because it is a short peptide that mimics natural signaling molecules in the body, the risk of toxicity seems low. Still, any compound that influences immune function should be approached with care, especially for people with autoimmune conditions, transplant recipients, or those with compromised immunity. It's also important to note that not all thymic peptides are identical. Thymalin, Thymagen, and thymosin alpha-1 are other related compounds, each with slightly different structures and effects. Thymagen's unique profile is what sets it apart, and researchers are still mapping exactly how it differs from its relatives. What they share is a common origin. They are all messengers from the thymus gland that seem to play a role in balancing immunity. The idea of bioregulator peptides like Thymagen also ties into a broader philosophy of medicine. Instead of treating symptoms or overriding the body, the goal is to help the body self-correct. This subtle nudge can be especially appealing in chronic or age-related conditions, where overstimulation or suppression of systems can cause more harm than good. With Thymagen, the promise lies in gentle modulation rather than forceful intervention. Now, let's think about what this could mean for everyday health. Imagine a tool that helps the immune system recover faster after stress, injury, or illness. Or a compound that supports resilience in aging, reducing the risk of infections and chronic inflammation. These possibilities are still being researched, but they paint an exciting picture of what the future of peptide therapy might look like. We should also remember that peptides like Thymagen are not magic bullets. They are part of a much larger system, and their effects are shaped by diet, lifestyle, environment, and genetics. For example, nutrition plays a huge role in immune function. Sleep, exercise, and stress management also directly influence immune health. If Thymagen can provide additional support, it might work best when combined with a holistic approach to wellness. Let's go a little deeper into the potential anti-aging applications. One of the hallmarks of aging is immune dysfunction, sometimes referred to as inflammaging. Chronic, low-grade inflammation increases with age and contributes to diseases ranging from heart disease to neurodegeneration. Thymagen's ability to regulate immune activity could theoretically help reduce inflammaging, supporting healthier aging at the cellular and systemic level. While we cannot yet say this with certainty, it is one of the key areas of exploration in peptide research. It is also worth exploring the psychological dimension. Immune health is tightly linked to mood and mental clarity. When inflammation is high, or when the immune system is dysfunctional, people often experience brain fog, fatigue, and mood changes. By supporting immune balance, Thymagen might indirectly help with cognitive health and mental resilience. This intersection between the immune system and the nervous system is an exciting frontier in medical science. Research on Thymagen and similar thymic peptides has spanned several decades, particularly in Russia and Eastern Europe, where peptide bioregulators were studied extensively. These regions have produced much of the data we have today, though Western medicine is beginning to catch up with interest in these molecules. It highlights how different parts of the world sometimes prioritize different areas of biomedical research. As with many peptides, accessibility can be a challenge. Thymagen is not widely available through standard pharmacies, and in most places it is classified strictly for research purposes. This creates barriers for individuals who want to try it, but it also underscores the need for more formal studies, regulatory approval, and standardization. Until that happens, much of the discussion remains theoretical or experimental. One of the most fascinating aspects of Thymagen is that it highlights the intelligence of the body. The thymus may shrink with age, but its messages can be reintroduced through peptides, potentially reviving aspects of immune regulation that would otherwise decline. It's almost like reminding the body of instructions it once knew but forgot over time. That poetic perspective is part of why peptides have captured so much attention among researchers and biohackers alike. Disclaimer: this podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice, and I am not a doctor. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider before beginning or changing any treatment, supplement, or peptide regimen. Thanks for listening, keep learning, and stay curious.